Hello, Hoosier fans, Hoosier haters, and everyone in between. This is the Crimson Coliseum podcast. So on today's episode, I brought back Greg for another road game. It seems like I'm only bringing you for road games now. Uh, because the plan was for Michigan State. I think we did Northwestern too.
Yeah, I actually went to Michigan State, and that's why I couldn't do it. I'm pretty sure we did Northwestern, but
Yeah,
yeah, we
yeah.
got we got another banger going.
We
So,
we're the number five ranked Indiana Hoosiers. Believe it or not, we're fifth ranked in the country. Is going to the shoe. God help us all. As we face number two, Ohio State. Ohio State's a 10.5 point favorite, and the over under is 52.5 points. So some history on Ohio State. Founded in 1870. Their first season was 1904. They have a record of 853, 266, and 36. Their bowl record is 24 and 23. They play in Ohio Stadium or the Shoe. What's it with these big name colleges like Michigan, Ohio State, just calling it Michigan Stadium or Ohio Stadium? Where's the fun names? I want Memorial Stadium to be called Sig Stadium or Sig Coliseum or
I,
something funny. I want the funny names.
I was
Pitbull
get
Stadium. We
you
need.
want you want the funny names, but there's like four Memorial Stadiums, dude.
I know we're one of them. That's why I want to change the name. I I want the funny. I want the funny ones.
We
Give me
gotta
like
talk to Pitbull.
Sig Stadium or something.
Hmm.
Light a Sig. But their record against Indiana 79, 12 and 5. And Indiana's last win against Ohio State was 1988. 29 straight wins for Ohio State. There have been blowouts in this series. There have been very, very close games in this series.
Hey, no one will ever win 30 games in a row against Indiana.
Yeah,
They might get 29. No one's gonna win. No one has ever won 30 before. So this is the one.
but this season they're 9-1, 6-1 in conference play, and their last game was a win at Northwestern, 31-7 at Wrigley Field, which that's not really a road game, but
Isn't that a baseball stadium?
that's where the Cubs play.
Oh, okay.
Imagine if I just said White Sox. The amount of Cubs fans that would be upset at me. I'm sorry, Schneider. All right, go into the Indiana stats real fast.
Okay. So, we are like compared pretty well to Ohio State, all things considered. The offense and defense, we got first in the Big Ten with 43 points per game, 453.2 yards per game, like 276 and a half passing, and then 176 rushing. Those are both fourth in the Big Ten. The third down percentage is second in the Big Ten at 49.1, and then our third down attempts are 108, which is first in the Big Ten, which is good. We don't have too many, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we just don't have to deal with the third downs.
Yeah, it's nice. The defense is good. We only allow 13.8 points, third in the Big Ten. We only allow 255 and a half total yards, second in the Big Ten, and that's 183.3 passing yards, and then 72.2 rushing yards, which that's first like rushing yards allowed, but seventh passing yards allowed, which
And rushing is first in the country, I believe, too.
the notes say first in the Big Ten. That's good enough for me for this game, but if that's first in the
Yeah,
country, I will take that. The third down percentage is 33.1, which it never feels like that in the game. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you see the third down happen, and then like it they get it, and I'm just like, all right, where's the rest of that 66 where they don't get it?
yeah.
And then their third down attempts allowed are 133.
I think
Um,
I think the past two games, Indiana has allowed teams to do go 5 of 15 on third down back to back games against the Michigans.
okay. Um, So yeah, the stats in general are good. I mean, they're as good as I've seen in my lifetime. So
Yeah, for Indiana, absolutely.
yeah, so I'm not complaining. You want me to break down OSU or you got it?
I got OSU. I got it. I just need to look
God,
up something real fast.
no, you're fine.
Uh, so Ohio State offensively, 37.8 points per game, second in the conference. 451.4 yards, which is good for third. 267.6 passing yards, which is fifth, and 183.8 rushing yards, which is third. This is the best rushing attack Indiana will face this season, flat out. 44% on third downs, which is eighth, and 116 third down attempts, which is second. So they're not getting a lot of third downs, but they're not getting the same clip that Indiana has in terms of completing them. Defensively, points allowed 10.3 points, which is first. Total yards 250.8, which is first. And in the country, Ohio State's second, Indiana's third in the country in defensive yards allowed.
Who's first?
Tennessee.
Oh, dude, they're so good at defense. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Third down percentage is 31.2, which is first, but going to the total, I forgot about this. Passing yards 160.1, which is first, and 90.7, which is second. And then third down percentage 31.2, which is first, on 138 third down attempts, which is fifth. So they're getting a lot of third downs and stopping them quickly. So this is a strength on strength type of game on that third down.
Oh man.
You can go into individuals for
Yeah,
Indiana.
yeah. So the big individuals, like we all know who they are, but we'll just run through them real quick. So we got big man Curtis Pork, my goat.
We
Um,
porking.
we porking in the shoe this weekend. Um, 171 for 238 on throws, 2,410 yards, 21 t touchdowns, and four interceptions. And then he's had 20 carries and 86 yards, and then two like touchdowns for himself. And then he's only lost 69 yards on 10 sacks, which like that's less than three digits. I'll take that. I'll take that, man.
Yeah.
Because some of the there was a real tangent, real quick. There was a blitz pickup. Kalon Black completely missed against the Michigan game, and he just instantly got sacked. And I wasn't mad, but I wasn't happy. I was just kind of like, come on now. So like, whenever he's under pressure, I don't think it's his fault because of how quickly he gets rid of the ball. Is kind of what I mean.
I think, according to Pro Football Focus, Curtis Work as is the highest rated quarterback under
Under
pressure.
pressure, I saw that too, and I wanted to bring that up for today. Uh, if you could bring up that number while I'm
I
going over the
think.
stats.
Yeah.
All right. But for rushing, we got Justice Ellison, 120 yards. Oh, sorry, 120 carries. That'd be bad if those were yards. 120 carries, 686 yards, and nine touchdowns. And then he's also had 11 receptions for 84 yards. And then Tyson Lawton, with 106 carries, 508 yards, nine touchdowns, and then also eight receptions and 101 yards. So they're both great. Obviously. Uh, yeah. For receiving, the receiving core, the top two, obviously all like this room is like five deep, and even with Anderson Kobe, he can surprise sometimes like six deep. But like we should be expecting big things from Keyshawn Williams, especially Miles Price. I think Miles Cross is due for a good game as well. But the top two, at least, are Elijah Surratt, Waffle House, open
Waffle
24
House is
hours a
always
day.
open.
Um, 38 receptions, 685 yards, and six touchdowns. And then Omar Cooper, 24 receptions, 527 yards, and five touchdowns. And then he's also had some carries, two carries, 23 yards, and a touchdown. I remember that one at Michigan State Live.
Yeah.
It looked like he went down at like the five, but then again, I was up in like the
Just
nosebleeds, and then he gets a touchdown. It's like, what?
the O lineman. What if we push Omar
Omar
Cooper
Cooper somewhere
somewhere
else.
else? But to
Yeah,
go with the receiving yards receivers real fast, I didn't put it on the notes.
not good.
Omar Cooper and Elijah Surratt are number one and two in yards per reception. Omar
Ooh.
Cooper is 22 yards per reception, and Elijah Surratt, I believe, has 18. It's 18 or 17.
Big Ten or country?
Big
Big
Ten.
Ten. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
And the only QB with an 80 plus passing grade when under pressure, Curtis Rourke, 90.6.
We need that. We need that this weekend. All right.
Yeah.
We'll get more into it later, though. All right. And then for our defense, the two big men. Well, there are a lot of big men, but the two big men stacking up the numbers. Aiden Fisher, 98 tackles, 37 solo tackles, 1.5 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss, and pass deflections. Took me a sec, my bad.
Yeah.
And then Mikhail Kamara. Dude, seeing that Michigan State game was his game and he ate. That
Yeah.
he did some unholy things to that backup quarterback. Like just seeing it live and then just seeing the giant hole before it happens and him running and then he's just oh dude. Okay,
I
sorry.
think also
Oh,
in the Michigan game too, I was like watching. I think it was Danucci and not Danucci, DiNardo and Urban on the Big Ten Network talk about
oh,
CJ West and
CJ
Mikal
West.
Kamara
Yeah.
on that like the TE twist
Yeah. I was
where
watching
he's
that
just
too.
he's just like Khalil Mullings is just or like Donovan Edwards just running the ball and he just sees Mikal Kamara just
Yeah, and then he like tries
right
to
there.
yeah.
He's like, hi.
I have this picture. I can send it to you later. Where
Yeah.
like you during the Michigan State game, where there's just a hole, and then Mikhail Kamara is there, just like
Hi.
yeah. Okay. But his stats: 39 tackles, 18 solo tackles, 9.5 sacks. I think it's a little padded because of the Michigan State game. He leads
No,
the Big Ten.
he's been very good all year.
No. I know he's been very good all year, but he definitely got like two or three of them in
Yeah,
that
I think
Michigan
he got
State
two
game.
in the Michigan State game.
And then 14.5 tackles for loss. Whoa, that's a lot of. Oh, wait, hold on. Two FF,
Forced
forced
fumbles.
fumbles. Oh, three fumble
Oh,
recoveries. One, don't tell me. One pass deflection, 53 pressures. There we go. Took me a
yeah.
second.
And the 53 pressures lead the NCAA. And I gotta, because I'm on PFF College's Twitter. They have all this stuff. So I'm trying to
Yeah.
look to see where, like, who's closest to him. But Mikhail Kamar's been a beast. So
Oh, yeah.
Kamara
And
with
then
53 pressures. Ashton
Genty.
Giote.
Oh, I thought,
No,
sorry.
Ashton. It's like Gillote. I nearly said guillotine. Ashton Giote of Louisville with 47. James Pierce Jr. of Tennessee has 45.
hmm
So Kamara has been absolutely nuts.
My goat. All right. And then for the back few, we got Amari Farrell with 37 tackles, 16 solos, one solo tackles, one sack, two tackles for loss, one pass deflection, and then four interceptions. We're going to need some of those this weekend, my man. And then, the world is 70% ocean, but the rest of the water is the D'Angelo Ponds with 40, he has 45 tackles, 29 solo tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, six pass deflections, two interceptions, and then a touchdown. Oh my goodness. This guy's entertaining.
Oh
They're
yeah, he
all
is.
entertaining, honestly.
And a very interesting note. I don't know if you knew about this. D'Angelo Pons is going up against an old friend today. Oh, this weekend.
Jeremiah?
He is high school teammates with Jeremiah Smith.
No way. I didn't know that.
I believe that is right. Yeah, he is high school teammates with Jeremiah Smith.
That's
So
crazy.
everyone's like, but Pons hasn't played against a receiver like Jeremiah Smith. He has
He
in high
literally.
school. He practiced against him in high school. But also, look at what we did against Boston in the Washington game.
Yeah, it's true. He just got. How tall was Boston? Isn't he like 6'3"?
He's 6'3", 6'4".
Okay, yeah, no. He should be. Obviously, Jeremiah is like a. I think he's a better caliber than Denzel.
Yeah, like Denzel's really good too. Like no shaming
Yeah,
him.
exactly. They're both great. Essentially, we're not too worried about the height and weight difference.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. For Ohio State, Will Howard's been slinging the ball pretty well for them. 186 of 255, 2,484 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 54 carries, 181 yards, and 6 touchdowns. On the ground, lost 59 yards on 9 sacks. And to go with those PFF stats, I believe Will Howard is the highest graded quarterback in the second half and overtime at an 89 PFF grade in the second half and overtime, which I don't think they've gone to overtime yet. So second
Yeah, they
half.
haven't. That's why it's a little weird.
But there's other teams that have, so they probably put that in like the
Yeah,
criteria.
they factored that in probably.
Yeah, but that's concerning. But rushing the ball, Keyshawn Judkins is leading the way. It's another thing with Michigan. The new guy is outrunning the established piece. Keyshawn
Yeah.
Judkins, 121 carries, 723 yards, 8 touchdowns, 13 receptions, 102 yards, and a touchdown through the air. Travion Henderson, 89 carries, 662 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and 14 receptions and 103 yards receiving. Then receiving wise, Jeremiah Smith, he's a Bolitnikov favorite. He's
He's
uh,
Him and Ryan Williams are both amazing freshmen. Like they are gonna if there was like a freshman receiver of the year thing, it'd be between those two. And I think
yeah,
Jeremiah might have it over Ryan. So
49 receptions, 865 yards, and 9 touchdowns, and 3 carries for 35 yards. And then Emeka Egbuka, who's probably going to be a first round pick of the draft,
yeah.
49 receptions, 612 yards, and 8 touchdowns, 5 carries for 21 yards. And that is the scary thing with Ohio State. They have a gruesome twosome uh, there. But the positive for Indiana is that it's really just those two.
hmm
I gotta find Ohio State's team stats real fast.
That's fine. It is kind of those two. Like they tend to default to Jeremiah Smith in most of these, and when they can't, they go to Emeka. And then if those two are taken up and none of their other pieces are available, because I know they use their tight end every once in a while.
Yeah, Carnell Tate is the
That's
only other receiver that has
that's his name.
more than 15 receptions and more than 200 receiving yards.
Um,
So
I know Howard has legs though.
yeah,
Like,
he
so if those three are taken up, he will book it, and that has been a pain in our butt sometimes. So.
it has. Defensively, Sonny Styles, that one of their safeties is leading a tackle, 63 tackles, 28 solo, 4 sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss, and 3 passes defended. And then probably the captain of that defense, JT Tuimulalu, 30 tackles, 18 solo, 5 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 1 pass defended. Pass defense wise, Jordan Hancock, 29 tackles, 20 solo, half a sack, 1.5 tackles for loss, 2 forced fumbles, 6 passes defended, 1 interception. And then Davison Igbinosun, 25 tackles, 16 solo, 2 tackles for loss, 5 passes defended, and 2 interceptions. And those two are like the defense. It's an Ohio State defense. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be nasty up front. They've got some good corners,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
they
Obviously there's that transfer they got from Alabama. Don't tell me his name. It's Caleb Downs. That's it. He's been really good. Um, the only thing I know is that they have one handsy safety, I think.
I think it's Igbinosun that has been getting a lot of holding calls.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, you're right. So I think with the amount of like I think there's going to have to be a spread receiver game. You know what I mean? Like it can't
Yeah,
just be pound the Waffle House. It's got to be like, all right, Waffle House, Keyshawn, Cross, Price. Like, ever
and
as Terry would say, like share the sugar. You know?
but I think a big thing with Indiana is the weakness in this secondary is one, back shoulder throws, and two, play action.
Did you see? I saw this on Twitter. It was a weird picture of some guy at night, just like this. It was Denzel
Yeah,
Burke, or is it Burke, or who is it? Because is Burke in the NFL? I forget.
you
It
might it
was
might be Burke.
it was Denzel Burke or the other Denzel. I know that his first name is Denzel. Trying to guard the back shoulder throw. It was a picture of him guarding it, like staying after, and that's good for him, obviously, to stay after and guard it. But all the Indiana fans were just cooking it alive, being like, okay, if Rourke throws a back shoulder like that, yeah, he obviously deserves to just we deserve to lose, which I thought was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, like but Rourke has been fantastic on the back shoulder throws. Like that's been his bread and butter.
Yeah, yeah, it has. Oh
So,
man.
heading in the extra notes, this is the second time Indiana has ever been in a top five matchup in football. The first time, Rose Bowl
Did
against,
we win that Rose Bowl game?
nope, it was OJ Simpson. It was OJ Simpson.
Oh no. He strikes again. No.
I know OJ's at peace knowing that his girlfriend's killer is
Has
dead.
been caught.
But this is not the first top 15 matchup between Indiana and Ohio State though. If you go back to 2020,
Yeah.
Indiana was 12th, Ohio State was second. And I was looking at the stats of this game. 490 total yards for Indiana, -1 rushing yards.
Oh, that's the Penix special.
The Penn he had 491 passing yards. And Ohio State had 307 rushing yards.
Oh, dude.
We only lost by 7.
I know. Back when it was bad, like, 2, 3 years ago, like I would watch that game and the Penn State game just to feel something. No, but like it
There's
was
the
fun to watch
feels.
though.
Yeah. But this game is really important for Indiana. One, with them being fifth in the CFP rankings, they have some wiggle room in the playoff. I think if they keep it close, keep it within like a 10, 14 point game, they'll still be in. They won't host. But if they keep it within 7, keep it within a score or win, obviously, they should host, which
Yeah, that'd be nice.
that'd be
Um,
nice.
well, the only thing that so the band, not like the football chat I was talking about earlier, is worried that if we host and then we lose, we don't go anywhere, and we would lose our minds if that happened. Like
Yeah.
honestly.
And more than likely, if that were to happen, we'd face an upset SEC team.
Yeah, yeah, and the most recent one was like Old Miss and then Old Miss to oh shoot. It was like Alabama or something. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
it was like because like Ole Miss, Alabama, and Georgia are all in the 9, 10, and 11 spots.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was Ole Miss, and then we'd go if we win, we would go to Texas or the
Well,
bowl game that was, you know what I mean?
it'd probably be the
Fixed.
Cotton Bowl. It'd probably be the Cotton Bowl.
The point is though, is
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
that those are two crazy. Nah, I'm good. I'm good, man.
I'm all right.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, we get blown up by Ohio State and we go to the Citrus Bowl
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that too, man.
and face a pissed off SEC team. Either
I'm a little okay with that.
well, it's either a two-loss SEC team or South Carolina.
No, 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 no. What do you mean? All two loss SEC teams are getting in. They got quality losses. Of course, they're going to get into the CFP.
Yeah, I love how this discourse has gone with it, like the entirety of the IU fan base just fighting the SEC.
I,
Did you
I
see?
just. Oh,
Did
sorry. Go ahead.
Did you see what the SEC commissioner posted on Twitter?
Yes, dude. Oh my goodness. Get off your high horse. Like, come on now. You like I get it's his I know he's literally Mr. SEC, but let's chill out a little, all right?
The only reason why Missouri is ranked is so that Alabama has a ranked win. That's the only
I
reason.
dude, it's actually so annoying. Did
Like
you see
like that's just it is what it is there. Like
did you see they had Arkansas as a quality win for Texas, but then they had Arkansas as a detrimental loss for Tennessee?
I mean, to be fair, let's look at Texas's wins. And Arkansas may be their best win by default.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get too much into it because
Yeah,
like
yeah, it
Yeah, like legit. I woke up on Tuesday and it was just like, oh, we're going to war with the SEC now. Cool, I guess.
Hell yeah. Uh,
All right.
oh, that's
Uh,
Tennessee, not Texas.
what?
Got the wrong T.
No, Texas's biggest opponents have been Vanderbilt and Arkansas. Everyone else they've like murdered, and it would be Michigan, except Michigan decided to suck. And the only quality opponent they played, which was Georgia, they lost to. So, and they have Texas A&M coming up, and that's going to be like their next big thing. So,
I
yeah,
was gonna say Oklahoma, but they're 5-5. So
no, they're
literally by
butt.
default, it's yeah, literally it is
Vandy and
Arkansas.
Arkansas, yeah.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, that's just. But going to the next point, O-line
And back to our
injuries.
game.
Yeah, back to our game. The O-line's going to be massive on both ends because we both are dealing with injuries. Tyler Stevens is starting his second game in Indiana, and he is he was a consistent starter at JMU, and he was in for a lot of those heavy run packages.
He was
So,
second team all Sun Belt.
so it's not like he's a bad O-lineman.
No, he's not bad at all. He just needed some time, and I think this bye week is like the time he needed.
Yeah, but Ohio State, oh
Oh,
boy.
dude.
In the Oregon game, starting left tackle Josh Simmons got injured, which moved left guard Jackson Donovan to left tackle and backup center Connor Hinsman to left guard. Hinsman started all games for center last year at Ohio State before center Seth McLaughlin, a transfer from Alabama, came in. He's been playing really well. He's on like an All American tear.
Yeah.
And then he's out with an Achilles injury.
Yeah,
Yeah,
speaking of
so
tear.
and then Connor Hinsman is going to move back to center. And I think I saw redshirt freshman backup right guard Austin Sieverveld is going to be put in at left guard. They like him over the true sophomore.
Yeah, that one I think they're keeping close to the cards, or I
Yeah,
haven't done enough research who they're gonna put in instead.
I
Um,
think Klatt might have may have done some like speculation because he has like
yeah,
his I've been watching the Joe Klatt show a little
yeah,
bit.
I watched a bit of Collat yesterday too. First of all, he's just a chill dude. I
Yeah,
think
he's
he's awesome.
yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say? He threw around the idea of Padilla. I don't
Yeah.
know who Padilla is on their team.
Padilla
I know
is the
is he
third
the
string
sophomore?
center. He's the third string center.
Oh, okay.
I think he's a I think he's a I think either a true freshman or redshirt freshman.
Oh yeah, nah, don't do that. I don't think that's gonna go well for them.
But that interior offensive line is not great. It's a
Yeah,
little bit makeshift. So expect to see a lot of Mikhail Kamara right on top of that left guard to test him. Expect to see a lot of that with the move to center, a lot of that TE twist on in that inside.
we eaten.
And speaking of the front seven, both Indiana and Ohio State are top two in sacks and top three in tackles for loss. Indiana has 31 sacks, Ohio State has 30. And tackles for loss, Indiana has 73, which lead the conference, and Ohio State has 67, which is third. And red zone wise, red zone favors the Buckeyes. Uh, Offensively, it favors Indiana a little bit. 56 attempts, which is first by far. 94.6 scoring percentage and an 82.1 touchdown percentage, which is both second. For Ohio State, they're 11th in attempts at 38th, but they're first in scoring and touchdowns at 97.4 and an 86.8. I think they've only not scored three times.
Gang.
Defensively, though, Indiana has allowed 22 attempts, which is also first. 86.4 scoring percentage, though, which is 15th, and then
Oh,
54.5 touchdown percentage, which is also 15th. So, and they've been getting
I,
better since the bye week, because it's
I
before the
mean
bye week.
like yeah, no. Before the bye week, it was always that thing where it was like, oh boy, the half's about to end, and now they're gonna do a crazy drive, which was really annoying to watch. But then after the bye week, that has not happened as much, which is really nice.
Yeah, like I think that we were 11 for 11 Yeah, I think outside of the Nebraska game, every game when they get it in the red zone, they score. Outside of the Nebraska game.
Well, like that, I think that stat's a little annoying, because like it doesn't show like in the Michigan game they got it in the red zone like four times or so. This I don't have the numbers, but this is from what I
Mhm.
remember from seeing it. But and they only got one touchdown. The rest were field goal attempts, which is and makes, which is huge. But when you can make like a when you have a guy who can make a 56 field goal attempt, like of course he's gonna make like the 20
Yeah.
whatever one.
Yeah.
That's
But
just me though.
yeah, on the same side as the red zone, not same side, but a little bit further, big play touchdowns. But this is actually pretty close. Indiana has 11, seven passing touchdowns and four rushing touchdowns above 20 yards. And Ohio State has 15, 11 passing touchdowns, four rushing touchdowns, which I think is kind of surprising that we're pretty close considering the big play potential Ohio State has with Jeremiah Smith and Emeka Buka.
Yeah.
But
All
yeah,
right. Let's.
get ready for the ref ball, my friends. Get ready. And before I get this to you, some history real quick that could
Yeah,
be
go ahead.
made. Nicholas Radicic has scored 83 points this season. A lot of them were extra points.
Yeah.
Just a lot of them have. Uh, he needs 8 points to be top 10 all time in points in a season. 17th, 17 points to be the fifth player in IU history to score 100 points in a season. Anthony Thompson has done it twice. Griffin Oaks, LeVron Williams, and Austin Sarr have also done it. And I think Griffin Oaks is the most recent to do it in 2015. So yeah, let's get to you. Then we go into our keys to the game.
You just want me to go over like the notes I wrote
Yeah,
down and any of
go
the
over
other
the
stuff on
notes.
here?
Yeah, yeah, go over
Okay.
the notes.
So I got a few big things because I have been, dude, they've been slamming us with homework this last week, and it's been so hard to focus on it because I just have like podcasts or different shows. Like I listen to Clat. I always listen to Pate, Josh Pate.
Oh yeah, that guy.
I think he's cool.
Yeah, he's cool. He's
Um,
cool. He's just an SEC homer.
he is, and he doesn't want to admit it, but he does make some good points. Like his CFP arguments are actually not very SEC biased, and I respect him for that.
I think
Um,
he's overrating the hell out of Ole Miss, but that's just me.
I don't know, man. He makes these predictions and then they land, and I can't. I don't argue with him. I just say,
Yeah,
you know what? You have Ole Miss at 4. Let's see what happens. And then it happens, and I go, Good job, you."
good job, you.
Okay, so some kind of outside factors that are not statistically based that I think we should focus on as well. Not as much, but still. So OSU is coming off like 4 games in a row. This will be their fifth. Most recent is Northwestern at Northwestern. Uh, IU's coming off a bye week, so we have a huge advantage in terms of like time to study film and time to chill. Um, Rourke said in an interview on th Tuesday that I watched that his thumb is based like almost 100%. I'd assume that's like 80, 85, 90.
Mhm.
I think we're gonna travel well to the shoe because it's close. I mean, I'd be there if I could, but I'm going home, so I can't.
Yeah, I think Jack's gonna be going too. So
Yeah, Jack will be there, which is cool. And then I just think the fan base in general will travel. They traveled really well to East Lansing, to Northwestern, even to UCLA. That was weird, but they did. Um, Klatt said this on his show, but I think this O-line injury is huge. Uh, I always think of the O-line as a group, and Alex explained to me that the O-line, like the center is like the brain, and having to speak and know the offense really well, and like that makes sense because I always hear Mike Kadick yelling on that mic like before, and like he's always like "Ugh," pointing and stuff.
yeah, like the center, like because I remember. Oh, I can't remember the coach. He was my instructor during the. God, I feel so bad that I don't remember his name. He's on the coaching staff this year, and like
Bob
he's like
Bostad.
no.
Okay.
He's the alumni representative.
Oh, bro, I
Uh
have no clue.
yeah, it's a short name. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But I believe he was an O lineman.
Mm.
The center's the smart one. The guards are the strong one, and the tackles are the athletic one. You think it like that?
Yeah. Um, so I think Kamara is gonna like eat. Same with
Okay.
CJ West, but since Kamara has been the one that has like gotten the most, I think he will eat the most. Um, yeah, exactly. And then something else that I noticed as I was looking at it, because like everyone's leading up to this game, people have been making comparisons between the Nebraska, the Michigan State, and the Northwestern game, which are the three games we all played. We lead. I won't run through all. Excuse me. I won't run through all the numbers, but essentially, we have outscored them in all our. In we have outscored Ohio State in all the common games we've had, except for Northwestern. Uh, and that got me thinking about like the point averages that they get and that we get. So I'll read those real quick. So,
I think we're yeah, really good.
huh?
Yeah, I think we're like plus 100 something, and like Ohio State's plus 70.
Yeah, I saw someone did the number and it was like 144 to like either 90 something.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but
I know
essentially,
it was on the Pat McAfee show. They were talking about it to AJ
yeah,
Hawk.
yeah. But for the first quarter, our average scoring number, and I did these by hand. I don't know if did you do defense by hand?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was at work for like 4 hours. Like, I'll just do this. Um, 9.4 points we've scored in the first quarter. These are the averages. And we've given up 1.3. And then Ohio State scored 7.3 points in the first quarter and given up 2.6. And then the second quarter, we've scored 13 and a half and given up 6.2. And then Ohio State scored 12.9 and given up 4.3. And then the third quarter, we've scored 9.2 and given up 3.7. And then Ohio State's give scored 12.1 and given up 0.9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they were
The
in two games too.
Jeez. And then in the fourth quarter, IU scored 11.8 and given up 2.6. And then this is the big one. Ohio State's only scored 5.5 and given up 2.5. So, do you want me to move into the keys, or at least the keys I think, or do you want to talk about something else?
I'm gonna like just go into what I see with this.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Um, and just given what the stats are like just telling me overall, I think Ohio State is really good at making adjustments and acting on it. I mean, you can tell like in the second and third quarters, they're fantastic.
Yeah, as much as people give him flack for because they have expectations that exceed like the block height in Minecraft, like Ryan Day is a he's a great coach.
Yeah.
Like consistently going 10 and 2 with new rosters, new people, and mostly recruiting from high school. Even if they're as good as Jeremiah Smith, those are gems you can only find every once in a while. That is impressive. And developing that talent is most important. He is a
Yeah.
good coach.
He is a good coach. He may be on the hot seat because he's struggled to beat Michigan, which if you lose to this Michigan team, I mean, just pack it up, buddy. Put the
I,
fries in the bag already.
put the I still think if they lose to Michigan and they lose to like if they lose to Michigan, they lose to us. They better at least, or I'm gonna be mad. Um, like even if that happens and they go what 9 and 3, that I still think you don't fire him because realistically, where do you find a better coach unless you get like Kirby Smart or
Here, if they lose to Michigan, even if they beat us and lose to Michigan, Ryan Day would have not beat Michigan since 2019.
yeah, I
To
know.
say, like, Tom Allen has a more recent win against Michigan than Ryan Day does.
That's true. Oh, that's funny.
So, like that is a must win for him to keep his job
I
because
I
they could fire him and promote Chip Kelly, which say what you will about Chip Kelly, that's probably what they'll do because he's the offensive coordinator.
yeah. Respectfully, I disagree, but I also understand how that is like a huge game for them.
Yeah. And it's the game. Like it is
Yeah.
the game. You got to win that. But let's go into the keys of winning. You go first, I'll go second.
All right. So for me, considering how I don't know if you guys have all watched an Ohio State game, but they take a while to score, like in the first quarter. Like the Northwestern one, I don't think they scored until the second quarter.
Yeah, that is one thing I noticed. Like Northwestern was able to get a couple of pretty good drives in that first quarter against Ohio State.
Yeah, even if they didn't pan out too much. Um, so I think we need to start fast, obviously. Uh, we need to start fast and we need to close well too. That 5.5 points, in the fourth quarter that I talked about, we need to take advantage of. Um, and then Alex and I have been talking about this. It's been in my nightmares. Ohio State in the third quarter. Oh my goodness. We need to like not like obviously avoiding it would be awesome, but we need to nullify the impact as much as we can in the second and the third quarter because they do work in the second and third quarter.
I think
Um,
it depends on the coin toss is going to be pretty big anyways.
yeah.
Like if we receive in the second half, got to get a scoring drive going, or at least a long sustained drive.
Yeah, I that was my next point going to be. If we receive in the second half, we need to have a long sustained drive. I would prefer that over a quick scoring drive, honestly. Obviously, you want to score over all things. Uh, and if we get on defense, we need to like three and out instantly. Or like make them work for it. I would be okay if Ohio State had a sustained drive and then had like a last minute score or didn't, preferably didn't score at all, but whatever.
Like
Um,
can't let Jeremiah Smith beat us over the top for a touchdown the first play of the third quarter.
exactly. Um, and then I have some additional cope. I think I like they talk. So I listened to all the Tom Allen press conferences when he was here, and I've listened to all the Signetti ones too. I listened to most of the player ones,
Mhm.
but sometimes they get thrown around different channels. But the biggest thing I've noticed is they talk about film, and the way they talk about film is very different. They like when they talk about film with Tom Allen, it was like, yeah, we seen him on film, or like, yeah, we seen this on film, and we know how to avoid it and stuff like that. But Rourke specifically talked about the way he analyzed film in his most recent press conference, and someone asked something. I appreciated this question. It was like, how has Signetti and Sinceri helped you analyze film better? And he described it like just like, not the exact things. He doesn't want to give away that stuff, but like it was much more in depth. So I feel like
Oh,
we've used the bye week to our advantage. That's
yeah,
essentially what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
And then also, I think his thumb's better. And this is an IU podcast. I will never predict against IU. And if we lose, I'm blaming the refs.
Yeah. So my keys to the game, I mentioned it earlier. Play action and back shoulder throws are going to be our best friend against this IU secondary. I guess this Ohio State not IU, Ohio
Yeah,
State
I
secondary.
say secondary.
Um, if there's a weakness on this Ohio State team, it's the outside corners. Just flat out, those play concepts are going to be what beat these guys the most. Getting Keyshawn Williams out in space, Miles Price out in space. Because Miles
Miles
Price
Cross
will,
is due. Hmm?
yeah, Miles Price should be back from Signetti's interview saying we're at full strength.
Signetti said he even name dropped them. Ellison and Price are fine. So yeah,
Okay,
I'm not
yeah,
worried.
yeah. Um, can't stress about the refs.
Yeah.
Uh, can't. It's just as a coach myself, as someone that has coached and against bad referees, even though you want to just
Yeah, yeah.
can't, you got to say reserve. I was lucky I didn't get a technical foul once coaching youth basketball because of a ref. Like a ref gave me a warning.
Oh, dude.
It's just
I can't even like fry you because I know I'd do like the same thing.
it's just yeah. We can go into another time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna go into too much about it. But The O line and their secondary is going to be holding a lot, and they did against Penn State, and they weren't called for it. That was one thing when I was watching that Ohio State Penn State game. But but also we need to be strong up front. We can't let them just run the ball down our throats. Even if like I think Pink said it like it's like the litmus test for our run defense because we really haven't played anyone that has a good
Y-
running rushing attack.
Yeah, I didn't realize I thought our run defense was really good against Nebraska and Washington, especially because Jonah Coleman's a star.
Yeah,
But when Pate said the number, which is that we haven't played a running offense better than 73rd, I was like, whoa, whoa, no way.
but also allowing 72 rushing yards per game against anyone against 10 games in a season, even if the
Exact.
competition is not great, it's still a good defense. It's still a good
Yeah,
run
yeah.
defense. The last thing, we need to know where Jeremiah Smith is at all times. Like, there's probably some situations where Jalen Walker is going to be have to be placed on him due to them moving him around, him in the slot. I think Terry Jones is going to get a lot of run in the slot with him. Like, I think that's going to be the big thing. Terry Jones as that rover is going to be helping out in situations with Pawns, with Jamari Sharp, with Jameer Johnson. Um, but that's and we gotta take out the crowd, take out the crowd
Yeah.
noises. It's
They were they were actually on we rehearsal on like Tuesday and they were playing they usually play crowd noise, but they were playing crowd noise so loud we actually couldn't hear the director on the mic. So, yeah, no,
hey,
seriously.
hey, it works.
No, it works.
But like that's just my thing with that. Gotta gotta make sure that you're like don't let the outside factors affect you because this is the first time this season Indiana is gonna be more rested than their opponent.
And you know what
So
happened the last time we came off a bye week?
Eltas.
So, before the predictions, I want to put you on the spot real quick.
Yeah.
I was gonna text you about this, but I forgot.
I know you're good, you're good.
I don't know if you watch I watched the All For You podcast.
Hmm.
It's three dudes, three IU alum talk about football. They're pretty chill.
Yeah.
And they do this like predictions. They call them picks to click, where they pick like some players they think are gonna pop off. And I was just one like they pick one on offense, one on defense. I was wondering if you had any in mind who you think might have a great game because I have some, if that's all right.
Offensively, hmm. Carter Smith.
Okay.
He needs to have a good game
Yeah.
for Indiana to be good. That whole O line needs to be good. But I think if
Yeah.
Carter Smith, like obviously Katie can set the tone, but with how talented Ohio State is, especially on the edge, I think he'll need to have a good game. Defensively, a little bit of a shocker. James Carpenter.
I don't think that's much of a shocker, honestly.
Because like he's a little bit under the radar in terms of the D lineman.
Well, when
Uh
you have Kamara and West, like,
I think they're gonna try to double team Kamara as much as possible on the
mm,
outside. And they're gonna get a lot they're gonna IU's gonna be doing a lot of stunts. And I think James Carpenter is gonna get home a couple times.
let's go Carp. For me, it's Jalen Walker. He had a great game out of Nebraska
Hmm.
last time with the bye week, and I think that'll happen again. Yeah, yeah. You know it's up. Um, and Fisher had his game during Michigan. I think it's walks time. And then I think for the offense, we haven't seen, now this is all just like there are no numbers behind this. We have not seen a Miles Cross game in forever, and they both went to Ohio University. And whenever Rourke is under pressure, like he will go to, well, he used to when they first started go to automatically go to Cross because of that connection. I hope that happens again because I think Cross is great and I want to see him out there like doing great things. They're all great, but like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, with I think Cross will have a good game. I think Surratt's gonna have a bounce back game from
mm-mm.
Michigan. Um,
I think Keyshawn Williams is gonna move up a bit on like the depth chart. Like he might
yeah.
get put in earlier. He might get a few more looks. You know what I mean?
Hmm. All right, let's go into predictions. So, heading into this game, I've been debating about it because like a part of me feels like we're gonna get screwed over. A part of me feels like we're gonna get screwed over because it's Ohio State.
The
Like,
Cincinnati Vietnam flashbacks.
but here's the like Ohio State has been very, very, very lucky recently. Penn State, that last play before halftime where they got somehow got an interception. Lucky.
Yeah, they got. Oh, dude. Now thinking about it, yeah,
And going into this game, when Ohio State has actually played teams that have won more than two games in conference play post bye week, they have scored. I'm just gonna look. I'm gonna look at this.
no, you're good.
Yeah, since the Oregon game, they have scored 21 and 20 points against teams that have won more than a couple games in conference play, and not like the basement of the conference.
Yeah, yeah.
And they only scored 31 against Northwestern.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought that number should have been higher, honestly.
Yeah, they've got 56 and 52 points against Akron and Western Michigan, 49 against Marshall, and then we get to Big Ten play, 30 against Michigan State, 35 against Iowa, which is still pretty good.
Yeah, no, those are
31
good.
against Oregon, 21 against Nebraska, 20 against Penn State, 45 against Purdue, which everyone puts up 45 against Purdue, and then 31 against I should not say that. I should not say that. I should not say that. All right.
Text me.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about with the 45 against Purdue.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna knock on some wood here because we play Purdue next. I don't want to be like everyone scores 45 because Purdue they put up like 22.
Win is a win.
A win is a win. That is true. A win is a win. And then 31 against Northwestern. I think Indiana's defense is gonna be good. Like Ohio State recently has not found their offensive rhythm as well. Like they found it against Purdue and Northwestern, but can they keep it up? Especially with the injury to uh,
McLaughlin.
McLaughlin. Like they scored like going looking at that Northwestern game, they scored 21 points in the second and 10 points the other three quarters.
Another thing real quick is they that first O-line injury took effect during the Oregon game
Yes.
and they had a bye week and Penn State was really slow. I'll pull it up real quick. I don't think they scored until okay, they did score in the first and the second, but like the whole game was pretty slow. At 20 to 13, again, white should have been the whiteout game, excuse
I
me.
think it was a helmet, a stripe out where they had like whites and then like one blue stripe in the middle.
James Franklin put a tweet that was like, "We need whiteout energy because big TV, all that
Yeah,
crap.
big noon.
Big noon."
Which I mean, I don't blame Fox. Like they're playing the game. They saw like everyone has prime time at 3:30 and night. There's no prime time for noon game. Let's have our prime time be noon. Like it's
No, it should have been the whiteout and it should have been late at night. Why was the time even set to noon? Pick another game. I don't care
but
at
hey,
all.
a positive thing about our game being a big noon kickoff. They can have the big night energy.
That is true. When it works in my favor, it's okay. So good job.
It works in my favor. Okay.
Yeah,
But like going into this game, like a part of me feels like we're gonna get blown out. A part of me feels like we're gonna lose close. But right now, fuck it. Indiana all the way. Indiana by 1 billion
one
points.
billion.
All right. Actual prediction 31-21 Indiana. And Kamara, West, and Carpenter combined for 6+ tackles for loss and sacks. Um, Rourke's gonna go nuts. Like 4 tutties. Like we're gonna get a good Radicic field goal there too, because everyone loves a Radicic
Nice.
field goal.
Nice.
But
So,
but speaking of Radicic, real quick, I understand that we may go for it on fourth down in our own 35. We gotta trust Radicic with one of these. We gotta trust him with one of these.
I
Let him kick a
remember
field goal,
I remember
please.
that during the Michigan game, and in the moment, I was like, "Let's go!" I was all for it, and then I was rewatching the game, and like knowing the score, I was like, "Okay, that was really dumb."
Like it's burnt. Like he did it in the Northwestern game, did it in the Nebraska game, did it in the Michigan State game, did it in the Michigan game. Like it seems like every game we go for it on fourth down early inside the 35.
Yeah, but like when it works, it looks genius. Like the one against Nebraska, like the very first drive where
Yeah,
we went for it on like I think 4th and 2 or something.
yeah.
That look like my
We did
brain
twice.
felt so big.
We did twice against Nebraska too. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah, one of them failed.
Yeah, which it was just bad hands. Um, we are 10 for 18 on fourth down.
I'll
Ohio
take that. I'll
State
take that.
is 15 of 21. So,
Is it okay? How do you pronounce his last name? It's Radicic. Okay.
yeah, Radicic. But a positive thing for Indiana, going to fourth downs, 7 for 28 opposing fourth down, like defensively. And then
And
Ohio
most of those,
State, 7 of 18.
nice. All right,
Go to your
my
prediction.
turn. So I'm in a fantasy football like league, and we have like a little football chat, and we talk about games a lot. I may have mentioned this earlier. We usually talk about the game like because we're all busy with work and stuff. Like we usually talk about it, like Thursday or Friday. Yeah, we were talking about this game like Monday or Sunday because like usually we're talking about the NFL or our fantasy like games we have against each other or like basketball and stuff. We were talking about this game like Monday and Sunday. Uh, I have been thinking about this game since like the Michigan game was done.
Like this is this
Um,
this is a game you circle on the calendar.
well, because I even told I was even thinking to myself like I was like, man, because I said this at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I was like, man, this bye week sucks. We have it, and then we get to go lose to Ohio State. But now I'm like, man, this bye week is awesome. Like, but for the I'll tell I'm gonna for the prediction, I'm gonna say exactly what I said in that group chat, which is quote 34 IU, 31 OSU. We go up at the half by a little bit and then mess up offense in the second half. And then the biggest thing, Radicic makes a 53-yard field goal with 5 seconds left, and it is nails, and we win. Now, if this
Radicic,
happens, someone get me a lottery ticket, first of all. um,
he's gonna be that Mariners announcer that predicted that dude's first home run exactly.
yeah. I I think it's mostly gonna be passing. Like maybe like a rushing touchdown up front, like when we're on the goal line. I think the O line will hold its own. Bob Bostad, I met that guy. That was an interesting interaction in terms of like he's chill, but he is a work man. He work.
He's a
Uh,
Midwestern O lineman coach.
yeah. Like I think they'll give Rourke enough protection to make the correct decision. He'll be under pressure a few times. He'll probably get sacked once or twice. That it happens with like the best defense in the country. I think they'll be fine, even with Tyler Stevens. I think the defense is going to eat with McLaughlin, especially because I looked at his accolades. He's having an All-American performance. One of the big reasons why they're considered for the is it Joe Morrow Award?
Yeah, I think Indiana's also considered for that war too.
Yeah, yeah, which awesome by the way. Um, I think the if it was just Kamara, like then it'd be a little like okay, but it's Kamara, it's CJ West, it's Carpenter, um,
Marcus Burris,
Marcus Burris,
Liddell Carr,
Linnell Carr, and then Mario. What's his last name?
I think it's Landino.
Lendino. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the true freshman.
Like, and he's good. Like, they're all doing like it's like a crazy amount of threats.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
Well, we're gonna wrap it up here.
yeah.
What do you got today?
What do I
Work?
have?
Like
Yeah, I got.
what? You got work today?
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll tell you. I think this is funny. I have work from like 10 to 3, and I was telling my friends, I'm like, yeah. So I get to go to work and sit there and just think about this game for like 5 hours, and then tomorrow I'm on the road. And I'm gonna watch the game in a car. I'm not driving, so it's not like distracted driving or anything.
Oh yeah.
And I was telling I was telling to my other friends, I'm like, I'm scared I'm gonna hit a patch where there's no internet, and then I just might have to jump out the car and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So so you know that I'm coaching bowling at a local private school, and now I am coaching fifth grade basketball there too. Got my first basketball coaching opportunity with him.
Nice.
So we got that today. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a little bit of private coaching with some of the bowlers because I think next week is the singles state tournament in Smyrna.
Okay.
So that's going to be fun. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, share on all platforms. And I'm going to ask you, Schneider, watch the video.